CK, the Raisin Man.
All right, we are back with the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, quarterback, Jonathan Gannon, head coach. I like to start the head coach quarterback combination because that is what teams, are basing their teams off of these days. But 8-9 last year, people be sleeping on the Cardinals. Kyler Murray came back from the injury, had a pretty decent season. They got him at 8.5 this year. So the Cardinals, can they challenge the Seahawks and the Rams for this division? Last year, I think this was a team that the Cardinals are one of those up and down teams. They start hot, finish cold, or start cold, finish hot. One or the other. But talk to me about Arizona. What you seeing out there on the field, guys? And Kyler Murray. Is Kyler Murray that dude for the Cardinals? I think these are some of the questions and even Jonathan Gannon. Is he the right coach? Because at some point, you got to get over this hump. That is San Francisco. That is the Rams. And even the Seahawks. You've been struggling against them too. But talk to me, fellas.
The Arizona Cardinals. What can you say about the Arizona Cardinals based on what they did last year? It's that man sitting right there, man, in your screen, man. Kyler Murray. They're going to go as far as Kyler Murray takes them. Is Kyler Murray going to be that franchise quarterback like they paid him to be? Got Marvin Harrison Jr. out there with him. They do a lot of good things out there, and then some games they just don't play up to their ability. And that's what hurts this Cardinals team, man. They got good running backs out there. Good tight end, one of the best tight ends in the game right now, Trey McBride. A very up-and-coming defense, up-and-coming offense, a hot shot coach. They were 8-9 last year, and this is a team that you didn't want to take lightly last year. It's just mistakes and injuries. John Connor, can you stay healthy the whole season, or will you get terminated like you normally do during the regular season? You'd be on the bench. But I believe this team will be taken as far as Kyler Murray takes them. But, Coach, what you think about what they did last season? Let us know what they did last season, and we can get into their preview of their offseason and what their roster and schedule looks like. Let's get it, Coach.
The Cardinals are an intriguing team. In terms of points scored last year, they were 12th in the league, scoring 400 points. Defensively, they were 15th, which is middle of the league, at 379. Their simple rating score was at 209, which is 12th, and their strength of schedule was at .85. Now, their team total points scored was, again, like I said, 400, with the yards at 6,090. The yards per play was at 5.9. Now, in terms of passing, they completed 374 yards in 543 attempts. Their total yards passing was 3,639 yards with 21 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Rushing-wise, they ran 463 times for 2,451 yards and 18 touchdowns. Their average per carry was actually 5.3. The league ranks in terms of points was at 12. Their yards, total yards, was at 11. Their pass yards was at 18th, and their passing touchdowns was also at 18th. Their interceptions was at 11. Their rush yards was at 7, and their touchdowns ranking was at 7. Defensively, their points was at 15. Total yards was at 21. Pass yards was at 14. Pass touchdowns was at 5. Interceptions at 24. Rushing yards was at 20th, and their rush touchdowns was 18. Now, the player to highlight, Pat, you just talked about it, which was Kyler Murray. 372 completions and 451 attempts, 68.8, so roughly 69% completion, 3,851 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. So that speaks volumes, like you said, Pat, to their overall success. It's going to be contingent upon him. So that's what I have for you. Back to you guys.
So, yeah. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., though, not a lot talked about. Had a very good year last year as well. But I think that's what Kyler Murray needed. But let's see what he lost. Because it's the NFL, man. Zach Pascal, Jackson Barton, Tryson Colin, Will, old friend, buddy Will Hernandez. Still around, ain't you? Kazir White, Julian Awkward. I don't know. Matt Prater might have been their biggest loss. I don't know, guys, man. It just look at this list and just talk to me about, because I was struggling to figure out which one of these guys that they really gonna miss like that. So maybe y'all got some answers for me. I don't know it all. I really don't. That's why I put Zach Pascal on the screen. I'm confused.
One guy I think they're gonna miss is because of a leadership aspect is Kazir White, man. Kazir White, man, as far as a leader for this team, he was that linebacker that went in and did what needed to be done. He was the absolute vocal leader for these guys, man. Like, when he was on the field, he commanded that defense. He made tackles. Not a huge stature linebacker, but just what he meant for that Cardinals team. He's one of those guys that had the turnaround of this Cardinals team to be a team that believed that they can win at any given time. So when you lose a guy that has leadership like that and it's tough and he goes in, he hypes people up on the sidelines. Yeah, this list is not high on premier players, which is good. Yeah. So this is the only player that I see that losing him, can hurt them a little bit in Kazir White, man. He was there for those younger linebackers to go out there and do their things. He was a leader. So leadership is key when it comes to an NFL team, and my beliefs when it comes to any NFL team. But Coach, who do you see on this list besides a Kazir White, if there's any, that you think that that's going to hurt them in the future here?
It's contingent upon what you did to replace it, but where do I always go? The offensive line. On a little side note, I like the Naquan Jones because actually back in the day I coached a player named Naquan Jones. So
wow.
But he was a skill guy.
What are the odds of that? Yeah.
He was a skill guy. But it's gonna be the trenches, man, for me. Barton, Colon, Hernandez. And here's one of the biggest reasons why too. Don't forget, your quarterback is barely 6 feet. So you need to create alleys sometimes for him to pass. So, what type of replacement guys do you have bringing in? They got to be comfortable because he's very quick. He dances around. So that elongates your blocking assignments. So some guys are not used to that, all of that comes into play. So that to me is where it starts right there. It starts on the offensive line, with those three guys right there.
Yeah. They didn't lose much. Let's see what they gained. All right. Getting into it. Jacoby Brissett. Signed him, of course. I like this Josh Sweat signing. They signed him to a 4-year, $76.4 million contract. Needed to add to their defense. Also like them bringing in Dalvin Tomlinson, former New York Giant. Shout out to him. Calais Campbell still playing football, man. Back with the Cardinals. And Akeem Davis Gaither signed a 2-year, $11 million contract. So the Cardinals doing work on defense. I applaud the Arizona. I'm liking what they doing so far, y'all. I'm really liking it. Zay Jones, bring him back. You give Kyler Murray some targets here. Trey McBride, he got a contract. Coach talks about the offensive line. You did re-sign Evan Brown and Kelvin Beachum. So, but which one of these signings you guys like the most, and which one's going to have the biggest impact in your opinion?
Me personally, man, I like this man here, man, Mr. Josh Sweat. He brings a championship attitude to this team. He's a very good edge rusher to pair with Calais Campbell and Dalvin Tomlinson and those young linebackers that they have. And I think that he's going to be the key to this defense. Josh Sweat coming over as the premier edge rusher from the Philadelphia Eagles. He has, like I said, he has a Super Bowl, so he can tell these guys on how and what it takes to win games in the NFC and win a Super Bowl. So I agree with you, NYG. They did a lot as far as gaining and didn't lose a lot. So this Cardinals team, this preview is looking pretty good so far for the Arizona Cardinals. I think they can compete. But coach, besides Josh Sweat, if you have anybody else that they picked up, who do you think is going to be that guy for the Arizona Cardinals, to take them to the next level?
All right, so let's take a look at this slide here, and I'm talking about Mr. Dalvin Tomlinson, former New York Giant. This is with Cleveland. He played in 16 games, started 16 games. And we all know Cleveland has a pretty stout defense. He had 26 total tackles, which I don't expect that, high tackles from interior defensive linemen. 13 solo, 13 assisted. 6 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, and 18 quarterback hits. Now he stands quarterback hits. He stands at 6'3" and weighs 325 pounds. He's a stout run defender commanding double teams. Again, he commands a double team, and he also holds those double teams. This allows his teammates the freedom to make plays on the football. So linebackers don't have to always worry about offensive linemen getting to them because he's there holding those double teams so they can make the plays. He's strong enough to push the pocket in pass rushing situation, and he plays with a high level of football IQ. What many people don't know is coming out of high school, he went to Alabama, but he could have went to Harvard to play football. He was that smart, and he's always shown a high level of intelligence on the football field. So that's who I think can have a great impact for the Arizona Cardinals. So back to you guys.
Yeah, I'm with you. New York Giants fan. Dalvin Tomlinson played with the Giants for some years, and he had an impact on that team, and we know what he can do. So I'm definitely with you there. Calais Campbell, man. Calais Campbell. He's still playing, and he's still good. Yeah. Don't sleep on that signing as well. And then we talked about Josh Sweat. So they did work on that defense. Let's see what they did here in the NFL draft. Oh, more defense. Let's go, Arizona. I'm getting hyped about the Cardinals right now. Walter Nolan. Bringing in Walter Nolan, D tackle out of Mississippi, man. We scouted him over here at the Aboriginal Sports Network, and he is a beast. Yes, He's very good. Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan, getting him in the second round. I think that was a steal. Jordan Birch, edge out of Oregon. Cody Simon, Denzel Burke. They went D tackle, cornerback, edge, linebacker, cornerback. The Cardinals ain't playing. They trying to fix their defense, man. But y'all, I had to get hyped for Arizona for a minute, man, because I'm going to tell you, man, I be struggling to find Cardinals fans out here. Yo, we know one, maybe two, but get hyped about your team because this team can be a good team. They can compete in this NFC West. We're going to look at the roster, but again, to me, what they did in free agency so far and with this draft class, I mean, they had a focus. They know what direction they want to put their team in. You got Kyler Murray. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. You got Trey McBride. Yeah, what you need to fix? Your defense. They went all out, man. But talk about this draft class, man. I'm fired up about this Cardinals team, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah. This Cardinals team, what they did in the draft was dope. Yo. This team has surprised me like the Tennessee Titans did. This Arizona Cardinals team might be a force to be reckoned with, man. Tune in to the ABSN, man, NFL on ABSN with these previews, man. We are showing you that there are some surprise teams out here. And then you get Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, Brandon Browning, Dalvin Tomlinson, and you draft Walter Nolan behind it. Woo! That defensive line can compete out there with Seattle. This Cardinals team, yo, it's looking pretty dope out there, NYG. I'm telling you. Them boys out there, they finna start playing, man.
Bro.
They finna start playing. But, Coach, let them know about something about this draft that you like, Coach.
Defense, more defense. I love that fact, man. I really do appreciate it. Like you said, Walter Nolan with those veteran guys. Here's the thing that I like. First of all, Cody Simon, Jersey boy.
Yep.
I like the fact that you got a Michigan cornerback and Ohio State cornerback. That's going to force them to compete. They already are rivals on the field in terms of college. So now that's going to amp it up. So they're going to have to go out there and really fight. And like you said, I love the fact that they attacked their defense. They said their defense is in the lowest spectrum of the league. And that's what you need to do. You need a defense that's going to go out there and stop the opposing offense, maybe take the ball away and give your offense the opportunity to go out there and do what they do and go out there and eat. So I really do love everything what they did in their draft. Even Hayden Conner coming from Texas, who was coached up by Kyle Flood, former head coach of Rutgers, and Kyle is a outstanding. Forget him as a head coach at Rutgers. Follow him as an offensive line coach. He is phenomenal. He knows what he's talking about. And Conner, with the right development, can actually be a very good plug-and-play type of offensive lineman. So, but that's all I have for you. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Coach. Again, let's see how they put it all together because Jonathan Gannon, remember, former defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I believe this is second year in Arizona. So let's see what type of team they're building and let's see how they put it all together here on paper. They don't play the games on paper, but on paper, I like what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? On paper. You got Michael Wilson, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Jones. Of course, we talked about Kyler Murray. James Conner, one of the better running backs, I think very underrated. Look out for our boy Shakes is going to do top running backs in the NFL. So look out for that, man. I think James Conner could be on that list. But Paris Johnson, Evan Brown, Forholt, and Isaiah Adams and Jonah Williams on the offensive line. I mean, Kyler Murray, if protected, should be able to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Jones, Trey McBride, and those weapons over there. And this defense, we've been talking about it. I like with this Buda Baker, Max Melt, Garrett Williams, man, Jalen Thompson, Will Johnson, Josh Sweat, Matt Wilson, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Baron Brown, and Nola Walt, Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell. You know, you got Cody Simon back, man. You got backups, Denzel Burke, who they drafted, man. Look, I'm gonna let y'all get into it, man. Pat, we'll start with you on the offense, man. Is this offense good enough to compete in the NFC West? I just want to focus on their division because we're going to get into the schedule, but in the division, can they compete in this division?
Heck yeah, they can compete in this division, man.
Talk about this offense,
why they cannot compete in this division? You know, yeah, Marvin Harrison at the receiver on the turntables. You got Zay Jones, Michael Wilson. Don't forget, they got Xavier Weaver and Greg Dortch coming off the bench. You get the ball in their hands, they can do some amazing things. That offensive line, is it the greatest? No, but is it the worst? Hell no. And you got Kelvin Beachum coming off the bench. That's pretty doggone good. Then you got one of the best tight ends in the league, and Trey McBride does everything, Mr. Everything for the Arizona Cardinals. He's the security blanket when Marvin Harrison is getting bracketed. Look, you got James Conner, the Terminator. Can he not get terminated this year and stay healthy? He is an absolute beast when he is healthy. He catches it out the backfield. He runs between the tackles. He can get to the outside. He can do all the things that you need him to do. This offense is very versatile. So, yeah, I think this offense can compete in the NFC West for sure. Like, why can't they compete in the NFC West? They're actually built for the NFC West. And, Coach, you get ready to break down the defense, and guess what? Gannon is a defensive guy, and I think he's put his stamp on this team. Now, not a lot of people are going to think about that. He's a defensive-minded coach, and look what they just did with their defense. They revamped it from top to bottom. But Coach, talk to him.
Max Melton. There you go, baby. Max Melton. So, seriously talking about this defense, man. This is another one that I'm excited. You know, Campbell, Tomlinson, Nolan, right there. Josh Sweat incorporated in there. Browning. I mean, you sit here and you look at it. Those starters. That's no slouches right there. There are no slouches right there for the most part. You got a rookie starting, projected to start, but you know what? I think that they're service and they can compete with just about anybody. You know, and then your second level, with Simon going in there, Owen Papo. I can't say his name. Papo, Xavier Collins.
Yeah, Owen Papo.
Thank you. Denzel Burke is in it. Joey Blunt. I mean, you sit here and you look at this defense, and it's like, as a defensive-minded coach, you just get your hands together and rub them together, and you start smiling because you could say, I'm a mad genius with these personnels out here. I can bring them from here, from there. They're playing an odd front, so you're going to come from different angles. You don't know who's going to come, so yeah, I like this defense, man. So I'm really excited to see this. The NFC West might be a defensively conference, a division.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that though, Coach, man, because the NFC West is normally known, 49ers, Rams, good offense. 49ers, good offense. You know, Seahawks have had good offense with Metcalf and Lockett back in the Cardinals, you know, back in the day with Kurt Warner and company. But might be flipping.
I agree with you.
Let's see, though. Let's see if they can get over this 8.5. They got the that's pretty high for 8.5. I mean, they won 8 games last year, so somebody in Vegas or over there at BetMGM, shout out to them. They high on this Cardinals team too. Let's take a look why. You're at New Orleans, home to Carolina, at San Francisco, tough game. Seattle, you know, Tennessee might be on the same level as you. At Indy, you get Green Bay. Then you go to Dallas. Then it picks up Dallas, Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville, but then you got Tampa, Rams, Houston, Atlanta, Bengals, Rams. That's tough to end the season. But the first portion of this schedule, I think Arizona can get off to a hot start. And if they get off to a hot start, can they get to 9 wins? Ooh. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to go 9 wins for Cardinals. I'm going to go the over. I'm going to go over 8.5. I know it might be reaching. It might be an unpopular opinion, but I like what this team has done. And I like the direction that they're moving because they're moving in a defensive direction and they're going to be focused a lot, I think, with Kyler Murray running and James Conner and that running game and that offensive line. And they're going to be able to take deep shots from Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Pat, break it down for him, bro.
There's not a
break down that offense.
There's not a dang word that you said that is wrong with this Arizona Cardinals team. I'm going over. And looking at their schedule, I think they could be 5 or 2 or better out of their first 7 games. The only game I have any concern for them is the Packers, and I think they can out-Packers the Packers. I'm just going to be honest with you. And with that defense, if they take advantage of what I believe San Francisco is this year, we're going to preview them next. But if they could take advantage and win those 2 NFC West games in the beginning of the season, I think they go 6-1 at the very least in the first 7 games. I think they could beat Dallas. Division games that could go either way. They could beat Jacksonville. They could beat Tampa Bay, another division game. They can beat Houston. They can beat Atlanta. They can beat the Bengals because if their defense plays well against the Bengals and holds the Bengals from scoring 30 points, I give them a heck of a chance to beat the Bengals. I got this team winning 10 to 11 games, bro. Based on what I've seen and based on what they've done with that defense, and if they go with that defensive mind of Mr. Gannon, this is going to be a tough out for anybody in the NFL with that roster. And Kyler Murray, you forget that he's a little jitterbug. So those plays where you can lock some of those guys up, if he takes off and run, damn what? Yeah, man. I like the Arizona Cardinals. Over. What you got, Coach?
It's tough. I know. It's a tough division to preview.
I love their defense. I really do. I think that's probably going to be the strength of their team, to be honest with you. And that's not taking anything away from Marvin Harris Jr., Kyler Murray, McBride, and all those guys. But I think the defense is going to be the strength. But I got them going under.
Oh, wow.
I honestly think they're only going to win 2 games in their division.
2,
yeah. Now they might start out well, but that back half that Monday night, Kyler Murray, I think he is because he's from Texas. I think he's going to go home and he's going to try and show out. And it's right after a bye, so that's okay. That's cool. But I'm looking at it, and Mm. I'm taking the under, man. I'm sorry, but and Pat, I disagree with you. Cincinnati late in the season, cold weather coming from Arizona, and Cincinnati's offense. Yes, I know Cincinnati doesn't play defense, but that offense for Cincinnati, I mean,
They're not built like a cold weather team. They're not built like a Cincinnati team. They're actually worse built for the cold than Arizona. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Why?
Arizona though has always had a history of having a hard time of playing in cold weather. They just have. So it's but
their defense leads them. They are built for cold weather.
That's fair.
Even if they drop the Bengals game, though, I mean, you can beat Houston. They're in a dome. The Rams play in a dome. Tampa Bay plays in warm weather.
I don't know. I agree.
Dallas is in a dome.
So
the Rams are in a dome, man.
Like I said, I just see them going under, and I think it starts with a lot of it with their division. I just see them winning 2 games in their division, and that's really because I don't think that they're going to win a game against Los Angeles. I just don't.
That's fair. I definitely think they can beat Seattle and San Francisco.
They can split with those 2, yes.
And we're gonna get to San Francisco next. We're gonna get to them next. And as a matter of fact, we'll be right back. Hit it, Pat.